Well, I believe it's time to eat a little humble pie. I tell you what, in this game, you absolutely must know the deals not to get involved in. So, gentleman came by looking to get out of his current 4x4 to get in something a bit newer. And he'd phoned me up saying, what did I have around? I said, there's a few cars kicking around. I've got the X3s and I've got the Freelanders. He said, I'll pop out and see you. So he's just done that. And he started looking over the X3s, and then they came in here and fell in love with this, especially because the cream versus the black, normally they're black on black. So he fell in love with the Freelander here, which is the right engine, the 2.2. And he said, that's great, love it, love it, love it. He said, could I put a deposit down on it? I'm like, yeah, you can put a deposit down, but would you hold it for 2 months? I was, no, I wouldn't hold it for 2 months. I said, because the car's value is potentially dropping over 2 months. And if you pull out, and I turn down all these people in between, I said, I'm out of pocket. So the only way I would even consider doing that would be something like £1,000 deposit. And it would be non-refundable if you pulled out. Because people, I don't know where people's heads, not this chap, he accepted, he said, yeah, I understand that because people change their mind. But there's an awful lot of stuff I see online about people putting deposits down on used cars and then saying, oh, it should be refundable. It should always be refundable. Of course it's not, it shouldn't be refundable. If you've come and seen the vehicle and you're asking somebody to take it off of sale and turn down other people's sales, you've entered into a contract to buy that vehicle. If you pull out, why should you get the money back? There's absolutely 0 point in deposit if you get the money back. What is the point if everybody go and put deposits on cars and then just say, do you know what, I've changed mine, and get their money back? The point of you putting a deposit down on a car is saying, I absolutely, after having test driven it, viewed it, checked it out, made sure I'm happy with the price, made sure I'm happy with my Part X, made sure I'm happy with the paintwork, I absolutely am buying that car, so I'm going to leave you money so you do not sell that car to anyone else. People think it's a victimistic crime putting deposits down on cars and then just bailing on it. It's not. The dealer has cash flow to think about. He's trying to get cars out of the door and sold. And if you're putting a deposit down on the car and it's turning down other people, you can't then go cap in hand to the other people. Well, you know the other person that I told you couldn't have it for because they're having it. They're not having it now. Do you want it? And just make phone calls like that till the cows come home. It doesn't work that way. So people need to get a grip. If you put a deposit down on the car, recognise it's non-refundable unless it's a distant sale, unless you've done it over the phone and you haven't actually physically seen the vehicle yet. And personally, I don't take those deposits because, again, I view them as a waste of time. I could have your deposit, wait a week for you to come down and view the car, and then you decide not to have it, which is a total waste of my time. Anyway, so this chap, I said, if you want me to hold a car for 2 months, I said you would have to put down £1,000 and it would be non-refundable. Non-refundable because potentially I'm turning down loads of people, the car could go down in value in that time, all sorts of things. So he said, no problem at all. I do understand that. In fairness, he said, I do understand that because people don't do what they say they're going to do. They waste people's time. I said, exactly, bang on. Right, great. Well, we love it. We just don't want to miss this one because of the colour combination. I said, well, I do get lots of other ones in, but not very often this colour combination. He said, the score is, he said, I want to wait 2 months because I'm due some money coming in. Hasn't hit yet, but I want to start looking for a car now, which I'm not sure I entirely agree with because there's no only point of looking for a car is when you've actually got the money ready to go, to be perfectly honest, because cars move so quickly they can be on and off a forecourt within 24 hours. So looking at stuff now doesn't make a lot of sense. Well, unless you like he's talking about leaving a big deposit and having a dealer sit on it. Anyway, what I noticed was the wife was outside on the phone, ringing round people, trying to scrape together £1,000, borrow the £1,000, and it just set all kinds of alarm bells ringing. It's one thing if they've got it in their own bank account to put it down, but if they're borrowing it off somebody else, and then they're leaving it on the car, and it's non-refundable, and then their money doesn't come through in 2 months' time, whatever, a whole world of hurt. It just set alarm bells ringing off everywhere. I said, I wouldn't do that deal with you now. I wouldn't do that deal with you now. If you want to go away, have a think about it, decide if that's absolutely something you did want to do, then you need to come back, test drive the car, because I haven't let them test drive. What's the point in letting them test drive the car if they're not ready to buy for a couple of months? So if you decide you absolutely want to do that on the understanding it's non-refundable, come back, test drive the car, make sure you're 100% happy with it, and then we'll do all the necessary paperwork. But as much as you want this car, this colour combination, I won't do that deal now without you having a good think about it. And that is absolutely my prerogative, because I've been in this game too long to know the deals. You know, it's very tempting to take these kind of deals and make sure you've got a sale on the board, but they will bite you in the arse every single time. So many dealers have said to me in the past, and it's come so true over the years I've been trading now, is some of the best deals you do are the ones you didn't do. They're the ones you turned down. Because let's face it, one thing has become more and more apparent in this current world is that no one is responsible for their own actions. It doesn't matter what you signed up to, what you agreed, whatever. There is somebody out there that will fight the case that you deserve your money back. Point in case being all these people clambering to claim back money from finance companies where they were told what the APR was. They agreed to the APR, they agreed to the monthly payment, and now, because somebody's decided that some dealers might have hiked up their APR rates to get higher commissions, they deserve their money back. In my mind, they don't. You know, it wasn't done after the deal, it was in front of you. If you wanted a better APR than that, you needed to go and shop somewhere else, didn't you? I know there'll be an awful lot of people out there disagreeing with me on that, but the fact is, the APR was there, the monthly payment was there. You had a choice to say yes, or you had a choice to say no. If you weren't happy with that rate, you could have gone to your bank, you could have gone to a different provider. You said yes because you desperately wanted the car, and you looked at the monthly payment and you thought you could afford it. Try and tell me any industry out there that isn't pitching the deals that are best for them and bring them the most income in. Sorry, there isn't an industry out there that doesn't do that. We even know it's rife in price comparison sites where you might think you're getting the best finance deal, best holiday deal, best whatever. We know those are ranked, a lot of them, purely based on who's giving them the most commission. We all just need to be grown-ass adults and realise that's the way the world works, and you need to do your own research. Gosh, I can already tell this video is going to get me some hate down in the comments. And quite probably all the comments down there will be for people that are going to work every morning for a company that does exactly the same thing in its own way. Anyway, step off my soapbox and back to the point in case. So I've said no to that deal. They've gone away, and I suspect after stopping and thinking about it, they'll realise that's not the right thing to do. Just wait until your money hits in a couple of months' time, then start shopping for a car. I'm sure we can find another Freelander with black on cream. Cream on black? Black on cream. Got the Citroen C4 in. A lot of you suggested that the reason I had an issue with this car when I drove it last, kangarooing a bit and coming up with warnings on the dash, was that the fuel filter was probably blocked. So got a new fuel filter to get in. We're just taking out the old one. We're going to have a look at it and see if there's anything obvious in terms of, well, I don't know what we're going to be looking for. We'll try and pour it out and just see if there's anything obvious.
Okay.
No. Looks a bit browny, but it doesn't look too bad, does it? Not the best colour, I wouldn't have said.
No.
It's the easiest thing to do first, isn't it? Take it. Oh, we got any sediment coming out of that? Or is that just stuff in the bottom of the pot already? Well, it doesn't look a nice colour, I'll give you that. It doesn't look like a nice diesel, does it, Pete?
No, it don't look that good.
So we'll just go off and put that in Pete's coffee cup.
Yeah.
And
Just see if you can
try swapping that. Yeah, see if Pete goes any better on that for the day. And then we'll get the fresh filter in. Fuel filter back in. Seems happy enough. I'll have to take it for a test drive first to be 100% sure. So I'm taking the C4 out for a little run. I'm hoping this works. We could do with a bit of good luck this week. We've had a real week of it, to be honest, with warranty claims and things not going our way on cars. You get a run of it sometimes in this game. You just got to get your head down and keep ploughing on. Hopefully we've sorted something here nice and simple. We do a bit of luck. Well, it only seems to have fixed it. No engine lights. Drove nicely, no kangarooing. I'm saying it cautiously because it drove well for a bit before it started doing it, but I've gone for a longer test drive now. So I have to say at this point, a massive thanks to everyone that got in the comments and said they've owned one of these C4s with this 1.6 HDI and they experienced exactly the same symptoms from a bad fuel filter. It was on the basis of that I decided to change the fuel filter out. So massive thank you to everyone in the comments. Once again, evidence of how great this YouTube thing is with all you guys supporting the Chops Garage business. So thanks for that. And yeah, we'll give it a few more tries, but it looks like that is sorted. And this is now going to go into action as my new loan car after letting Swifty go. But talking of bad luck, that is Adrian with the Mazda MX-5 Supercharged that I paid to have him deliver down to the tuner just a few days ago, and it promptly blew its thermostat housing, so he wasn't able to continue the tune, so I've had to pay for it to be taken down there, pay for the little bit of work they did, and then pay for it to be brought back again before it has to go back down there again. Top tip, if you want to get something modified, buy it off someone who's already done all the work. It'll be a lot cheaper, trust me. So this is what's happened with the MGB. There's a T-piece pipe down here, and it's very common for them to break off. You can see it as it's broken off there. But the issue is that housing is only £60, but if you can see, it goes through in behind the cam cover. So in order to change it out, you've got to take all this off, and you've got to do cam back at the same time. But I'm thinking, now the way I saw around it is cut this off, tap it, and put a threaded barb in there, and then put it on. But this pipe's actually quite good. It's just something's knocked it and broken that bit off the bottom. If I put a piece of pipe over and just put 2 clamps on there, and then put my T-piece in here, I think I can get away without having to thread that. At least I'm going to give that the go first time round, and we'll see how we get on with it. If it works, then we won't have to go further. If it doesn't, we'll go to the threaded route. So here's my setup that's going to no doubt upset a lot of people. Pipe over the top of the fitting with 2 clamps, another pipe there with a T-piece in with a clamp on it, fitting the 2 original pipes to it, and then some random clip I found which I've attached to a bolt on the water pump housing to keep this pipe away from the belt for the supercharger there. So we're going to start it up and see if this holds tight or not. So it's holding for the moment. The only thing I foresee maybe being a problem is the angle that's at now. The edge of the pipe there could start to rub through that section of pipe, so we might need to look to expand stuff out. Basically, I want to get the tune on it. I want to get that tune done. Once the tune's done, we might do the cambo anyway, so we'll do away with this. But for the moment, I just want to make sure it can be tuned, because I need to have that setup finished off. Well, I believe it's time to eat a little humble pie. The customers with the Land Rover come back towards the end of the day because they went away and sorted out a bank loan. Went away and sorted a bank loan out for the full amount, and they've left me a £500 deposit on the car to keep it for a full month for them, although they think the money from the bank might come through quicker than that, which I suspect it will. I think they give 28 days just to protect themselves, don't they? So yeah, took it a test drive. We were 100% happy. We agreed what we're doing prep-wise. Did a deal on their part exchange, and yeah, as soon as the money hits the bank account, they're coming to pick the car up. I still maintain I was right to turn down a deal where we kept it for 2 months when they were borrowing the money off somebody else. I think that was too risky, but this deal I'm happy with, because obviously a bank loan means they're wholly responsible for it, and it's no different from someone getting finance on a car. Apart from the difference with a finance loan, with finance versus a loan, is if someone takes finance on my car, I have to deal with the finance company if there's any problems with the vehicle going forward, and they will try and rinse you for up to 5 years. If you take out a bank loan, you're just borrowing the cash. It's not attached to the car, so I don't have the same liabilities. I think anybody who's seen anything about what's going on in finance at the moment would totally understand why a lot of dealers don't want anything to do with finance anymore. So we ended up having done a deal on it. We also sold the little Citroen C1 that my daughter Brooke was going to have. I was at the gym this morning and someone came over and said, I thought they were coming over to get the equipment, but they came over and said, oh, I've been recommended to you for a car. And they swung by this afternoon and bought the little Citroen C1. We did have a viewing booked on it tomorrow on Saturday, but they didn't leave a deposit. So obviously it's still up for grabs. I had to ring them. They're a little disappointed. But yeah, they bought the little C1. A couple of things. I'm just going to change a couple of tyres on the back because they passed MOT without note. They are cracked on the sidewalls, which is only, as I've said in loads of videos now, it's only advisory. You're getting a lot of cracking on sidewalls at the moment. I don't know if there's a lot of cheap rubber out there, or it's all the heat we've had, or that my cars just tend to sit a little bit. I don't know if that's the reason for it, but we'll go and get that done. We'll do oil and filters on it, and it's someone's first car, that one, so we'll get it all ready and prepped for them. We'd already MOT'd it, so it's just, like I say, a couple of little bits to do on it. My fix on the MGB did work. We haven't lost any coolant, but it's almost like it's lost its map now, because when you start it, it wants to cut out and die unless you give it some revs, whereas before it ran beautifully. So I don't know whether the tuner hadn't quite finished. Maybe it hadn't finished the base map for it at idle, and that's why it's doing what it's doing, but we'll have to get it loaded up and back to him for the final tune. And yeah, good news on the Citroen Picasso working well, so that'll go to work, as I said earlier, as a loan car. We've had our delivery of all the cars we went and picked up and bought from the guys at Cartwright, so I'll do your little video on going through those. I haven't done it yet. We didn't test drive a huge proportion, there wasn't room to do it, so we're now going to take the cars out, one by one and try them out, and we'll see what a mixed bag we've got. Find out that ultimate question: why were they part exchanged? As always, thanks for watching, and don't forget the 106 GTI is still up for grabs on the latest raffle. I haven't discussed the 106 Rally with you yet, have I? No. But the 106 GTI is still up for grabs on the raffle, and remember, it will be at Rustival at the end of the month. So you can win the 106 GTI for £2. I'll put a link to the raffle down below. I'll put a QR code up here. But if you are at Rustival, you'll be able to have a good look over it yourself. As always, thanks for watching, and I shall see you on the next one.